It's happening.
Alright, good morning guys, welcome to today's video. And today's video is a full day of eating on a bulk, and hopefully this will help lots of you guys out, because at the moment right now I'm having to eat a crap ton of food, like over, I think it's 4,060 calories off the top of my head that I have to eat a day, and that equates to 600 grams of carbs, 100 grams of fat, and 190 grams of protein. So that's a whole lot of food. So I'm going to show you everything that I eat throughout the day, maybe give you some helpful ideas of what you can eat if you're someone like me and has to eat a whole bunch of food too. Yeah, I apologize for the lighting right now. It's pitch black outside. I'm in the car right now. So, but yeah, so I'm gonna go train right now, and this might seem kind of odd, but before I train, normally I don't like to have anything in my system, because when I'm eating this much food, I find that towards the end of the day, I get so sluggish and just kind of just like groggy because I have so much food in my system. So I'd really like to take advantage of the times when I'm really kind of crisp and fresh and have higher energy, because like right now, I don't feel like full or groggy or anything. So what I'll do is I'll just, like you saw right there, just have like 2 rice cakes before the gym, get a little bit of carbs and energy into my system, and call that good. But no, I just train a lot sharper, and I'm just get a lot more efficiency done when I'm training like without much in my system earlier in the morning. So that's what I do. I'm gonna go work out. So I'll see you guys at the gym. Alright guys, so that first meal you just saw there was my post-workout meal, and also my first meal of the day, and that was my smoothie bowl. So what that was 200 grams of a strawberry banana fruit blend, 100 grams of blueberries, 20 grams of peanut butter, 70 grams of peanut butter whey protein by Ghost Lifestyle, and a tablespoon of honey, so about 20 grams, and I think that was it. A little bit of water to help mix it all together, and then also just a rice cake sprinkled on top. And I'm a huge fan of smoothies right now, just because if you're someone who struggles to get a lot of calories in the day, or gets enough calories in, smoothies are a great option, because you can really just pack them full with a bunch of things that are adding on the carbs and calories. So for example, I like to use the peanut butter, really non-filling, extra form of fats and calories. The honey, not very filling at all, and easy, extra like 20 grams of carbs, something like that. The fruits, they're not the most like not filling. They are decently filling because there's fiber in the fruit, but I find that when I have fruit, I feel just a little bit better compared to if I had like, say, like a really kind of starchy carb, like a potato, or I guess like a pasta or something like that. Like those kind of carbs, they kind of make me feel a little more groggy and just not as sharp. Or in the morning, I had class right now, fruit usually gets me going a little bit more, just feel a little bit better. So yeah, that was my first meal. Very, very dense in carbs, decent amount of protein, also a little bit of fats. So if you're someone who is struggling to get in enough carbs and fats, highly recommend utilizing smoothies. If you want some more carbs, you can add in some like oats or something like that. Add in any kind of like sweetener. I personally like to use honey. You could use like syrup or something. So really, whatever you prefer. And there's so many different ways you can go with the smoothie to make it kind of what you enjoy the most. So I think that's that meal. So I'll see you guys with the next one. Okay guys, I just got home from class, and I just had my second intake of food throughout the day, or I guess if you want to be really technical, it was my third. And that was just like a snack. I had 4 caramel rice cakes with also 45 grams of Nutella on top, and then also 20 grams of cashews. So this meal was decently high in fats. I want to say maybe 15 to 20 grams of fat. What this meal does, it's just like a kind of quick way to get a little bit more carbs and fats, kind of in between my next big meal, which is my lunch. So right now it's about noon, and I had my previous meal to this one, my breakfast, about maybe 3 hours ago. So really every 3 hours I'm eating something, just kind of the way I structure my day. So now I just had that. Not very filling, which is what I like at the moment, because honestly, towards the end of the day, it's really hard for me to fit in all that food because I get really full. So it's not very filling, but it's helping me get the nutrients and macronutrients I need throughout the day. So really good option. Highly recommend using things like Nutellas or any kind of butters. And yeah, and the rice cakes, there's a decent amount of volume to them, and like I mentioned before, you don't always want a whole lot of volume when you're bulking, having to eat a lot of calories, because it'll fill you up. But I really like the rice cakes, just because if you don't know me, I'm a huge fan of them. I just love to eat rice cakes. It's like a really tasty snack in my opinion. So I'm pretty much always having some rice cakes during the day. But if you add like the butters on top and stuff like that, it really adds on the extra calories. So I enjoyed that, really tasty, and that should hold me over and get me some nutrients in before lunch, which we'll have in about another 2.5 to 3 hours. And real quickly, I forgot to mention, you saw my workout, obviously. I took some intra-workout candy source, so it's just 2 Jolly Ranchers. It comes out to about 50 calories, so I don't even know, maybe 15-ish grams of carbs, just a little intra-workout carb source. So yeah, that's that. Alright guys, so what you just saw there was my lunch, and I had a big pasta, meat, and veggie kind of mashing that I make almost every day. And I also had just a little bowl of just cashews. So it was 135 grams of gluten-free pasta. I really like pasta because compared to rice or oats or potatoes, it's a very high source of carbs. But compared to all the other sources of carbs, it's relatively low filling, so I can eat a lot of it, get a lot of carbs, and not be too terribly full after it. And it was also gluten-free, so whenever I can, I'll eat gluten-free, just because my gut's a little bit sensitive to gluten. Not the end of the world if I have gluten, but when I can, I avoid it just because it makes my digestion go a little bit smoother. I don't get any stomach problems, so I just avoid gluten whenever I can. If I have it, not the end of the world though. And I also had 93.7 ground turkey. Nothing special about it being 93.7. If you want to go lower fat, you can, but being that I have a lot of calories in a bulk, I have more fats to work with, so I go 93.7 just because a little bit more fat on it, tastes a little bit better, and just what I enjoy. So that's my source of protein in that meal. I had 4 ounces of that. I also mixed in about 8 milliliters of just olive oil with that, add a little bit more fat, also helps it taste a little bit. And then I had a whole bag of just microwavable vegetable packs. So it was carrots and peas mixed into there. The reason I chose carrots and peas is because compared to other vegetables, they're going to be a lot less filling and a lot more carbs in them. So compared to if I had a whole bag of broccoli, that would probably be about half the amount of carbs, and it would probably be 3 times as more filling, just because it's a lot more volume. So to get my veggies in, I usually go to something a lot less filling. So that's what I do for veggies. Then also, to get extra carbs, again, I'd always talk about the sauces if you're trying to eat a lot of calories. I layered on about 50 grams of Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue. That stuff actually tastes amazing, and just a quick, super easy source of carbs. It's not going to fill me up any extra. And then the cashews, just 20 grams again. Just some healthy fats, because we do still care about health in this channel. It's not always just about looking your best, but also you want to feel internally your strongest, your best, and just getting healthier sources of foods tend to do that for you. So that was my lunch. Really tasty. Some of you may not like that kind of stuff, but I personally enjoy that, and that's what I recommend. Find what allows you to hit your calorie macro goals for the day, and after that, after you find what makes you hit those, work with those things to find things that you love that still hit those goals, and literally eat it until you get sick of it. That's just kind of the way I go about things. I eat something until I get sick of it, and when I get sick of it, move on to something new. So that's where I'm at right now. Alright, so what you guys just saw there was my dinner for the night, and yes, that's the same dinner I have almost every freaking night, and it was just my oatmeal, my protein oatmeal, and the reason I have that every night is plain and simple. I just love to eat that oatmeal. Whatever it is, I just love oatmeal. So until I absolutely get sick of it and don't want to eat it anymore, I'm going to eat it every day, or every day that I can. So the reason I choose oatmeal, well, obviously number one, I like the taste, but also most importantly, it allows me to hit my macros perfectly. I guess not that it allows me to hit my macros perfectly, but I can make it in a way that allows me to hit my macros perfectly. So even when I'm cutting, I can use less peanut butter, more protein, slightly less oats, more water to give it more volume, to make it more filling, less calories. But even on a bulk right now, I can load it with, the peanut butter. I can put, like you guys saw, I literally was dumping a bunch of syrup on top to add on a bunch of carbs and extra calories. And it's similar to like the smoothie. I can kind of just create whatever I want with the oatmeal and really tailor it to however my specific calorie and macro needs are. So it's a huge help for me. Yes, the oats, they have a lot of fiber in them, so they do keep me full, but it doesn't keep me so full. I find that if I kind of separate it, make it one bigger meal instead of having like a smaller meals around it, it does the trick just nicely. So nothing special about that meal other than the fact that it lets me hit my macros, and I love it. And if you're wondering, it is about 6:30 right now, so it's been about 3.5 hours since I had my last meal. So like I said earlier, anywhere from about 3 to 4 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours in between each meal. So I just kind of spread them out as evenly as I can throughout the day, just because if I had to cram all that food together, I would not be able to do 4,000 calories in a day. So I just try to be smart about it and make the most of it. So I will see you guys with my next meal. Alright, so this full day of eating, guys, is done, wrapped up. What you saw there was my nightly cereal cap. Tonight I was feeling like some Lucky Charms with some peanut butter cereal milk, Ghost whey protein mixed in. And like I said before, I love that. I'm going to eat it until I get sick of it. And that's the cool thing is, with whether you're trying to build muscle, lose fat, doesn't matter what it is, you can work in the foods you enjoy. What matters in terms of how you're looking and what your body composition is hitting in macros and calories. So if I'm trying to gain muscle, there's always going to be a certain amount of calories and a certain amount of macros I'm trying to hit. Same thing if you're trying to lose fat. And that's different for every person. So obviously I have to eat a lot of food. That's just because I've been in a calorie surplus for a few months now. I have a very fast metabolism, and just genetically my body is designed to burn more calories for whatever reason. So that's that. Everyone's going to be different. And yes, obviously you should always try and eat healthier whole foods, but at the same time you want to make sure that you're hitting your proper calories and macros, because if you don't, you're not going to get the body composition results you want. You're never going to get those big muscles if you don't eat enough food, if you don't eat the right kinds of food. So
worry about your macronutrients. I think that should be almost like your main focus. And then after you get your macros all set up, then try and worry about the quality of food you're getting in. Because ultimately, you could be eating healthiest food ever, but if you're way overeating, you're just going to gain a bunch of fat. And if you're way undereating, you're just going to get scrawny. So it's finding a balance, and that's really the biggest key to just fitness in general, is having balance with everything. So that wraps up my full day of eating. 4,060 calories in the day, and 190 grams of protein, 100 grams of fat, and 600 grams of carbs. That's freaking crazy. So if you are someone like me who struggles to get in enough food on the day, or has a hard time eating all that food, maybe you learned something from this video, take away some of the things that I personally do to help me eat enough food in order to gain weight. So yeah, I think that wraps everything up. And also, if you guys like this content, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. So I'll see you guys later.